So
That's a public speaker move, man. I know that move. That's a good question. Buy yourself some time. That's a good question. There are levels, and I didn't know any of it before I talked to you. I'm going to keep asking the same question different ways. Jay, how do we solve this, man?
It's funny. You're bringing a whole new perspective because
what's even more wild is there's a Easter egg that still has not been claimed.
Gem X, welcome to CAA. How we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
So many people on, it's hard to ask. Like, no one even knows who should answer. If I just say Gem X, you guys are just going to stare at me. I'll clean that up. Now, do you guys go by Gem X? Is that proper? Because I've heard like 100 different things. Let's set the record straight to start.
So the X is silent. Just go by Gem Era. We're okay with whatever you want to call it. Gem X Era. We're fine with it. But how we go by is just Gem Era.
I heard someone say Gem Era, and I'm like, that's not it. I'm calling him Gem X. And I stand corrected. It's Gem Era for the rest of the conversation. So tell us, there's 3 of you on. Let's get roles and responsibilities first straight so I can address you properly. Is this the total team?
No, we're actually we're missing one member. So there's 4 founders of Gem Era. It's myself, Katie, and Paul. Our 4th founder is Danny. He's not able to join today, but he's actually based out of the Midwest. He's a good buddy that we've known for a long time.
And so who got Gem Era started?
Ooh.
Did one of you, or do you all like sitting around pizza simultaneously? And you're like, we all have the same idea right now.
Jay, you want to take this?
I would say the ongoing joke is that if it's a good idea, it's usually my idea. I'll take credit for it, and if it's a bad idea, I'll shift it to everyone else. But no, I mean to answer your question, coincidentally all 4 of us just had this idea one night, and we were like, really love to start an art studio. And we were really inspired at the time from Piggy Banks. Obviously, he's like the leader in the space. And even before that, we all had our own individual history with cards. So our 4th founder, Danny, is a huge Pokemon collector, also had a bunch of Piggy Banks. He actually introduced us to the whole custom art world. And for myself, I grew up, ripping Magic cards, playing. I have over 4,000 cards. I've been playing on and off for about a decade. Obviously grew up with Pokemon, and I'll let Paul and Katie jump in, but it's kind of how we got started.
Did you all have love for cards, Paul? Did you always were you ripping Magic cards?
Not Magic. No, that's an interesting conversation for another time. But no, I actually grew up. I first started collecting Pokemon cards way back in the day when I was a lot younger. It transitioned to Yu-Gi-Oh, and then it transitioned to Dragon Ball Z cards. So I've been into collecting cards probably since early middle school. So.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna tie this into the next question, Katie. It's coming your way, so look alive over there. So I went and had trunk or treat. You guys know what that is? Trunk or treat last weekend, and I'm set up with my wife. We both were supposed to have cars, and of course my car didn't start that day, so we had 1 trunk instead of 2 trunks. Nevertheless, we both were rocking Steeler because we were throwing footballs into a little net that we had set up in the trunk. So the kids would throw footballs and get pieces of candy for whatever the hell they got. But we're rocking our Steelers jerseys, and someone came up and rudely asked my wife, Steeler fan, did you marry into that? And I was like, that's the rudest thing I've heard this whole weekend. So Katie, the question for you is, did you also collect cards, or did you marry into it?
I was not a collector at first. Through this guy, I started learning how to play Magic the Gathering, and then through his friends, started collecting art cards.
The politest way to ever say she married into it. I didn't actually hear my wife's response. She probably threw me under the bus. I think she hates the Steelers, now that I think about it. But she wore the jersey for me. So, other than a love for cards, tell us a bit about your backgrounds. Do you all have day jobs? Is Gem Era an after-hour sport for you?
Yeah.
Jay, let's start with you. Is Gem Era after-hour sport for you?
Yeah, definitely. So we all have day jobs. We'd love to transition to doing this full time, but I say every minute, an hour of our day, it's not working for our normal 40 hours, is actually going towards Gem Era. So
that's a difficult thing for me. So I do have a day job. I work for JP Chase. When I come home, usually it's take care of kids, get dinner ready, and then it's off to Jay's house to go to the studio and start putting out some art.
So are you Gem Era's accountant?
I am actually, yeah. So I take care of
you better be. So wouldn't it be hilarious if they're like, Katie, you're the accountant?
Yeah, I don't want to do this.
So Jay and Katie, what are your roles? Paul's accountant, and what are you two?
So yeah, we all wear a lot of different hats. I'm mostly working on the design and the printing aspect of it. Don't let Paul sell himself short. He does a lot of like the resource sourcing and the cardstock, laying the vinyls, working on our different packaging designs. And then Katie's obviously, I'll let you speak for yourself. But
I mean, I do a lot of the art for Gem Era.
But you're the artist.
I am, yes.
I knew it. It's always the one in the back, right? The quietest one in the group. She's like, I'm the one that draws all these bangers. Yeah, married into it, but I'm the one who makes it all happen. Nice work.
I do the account, but that's such a small part of what I do. I do a lot of the procurement, a lot of the product that we order. Me and Jake kind of tag team that, but for the most part, I'm usually procuring the vinyls. I also do the video editing, so all the videos that you see on our Instagram are all me, with some insight of the other two. But yeah, we all have different hats, different roles. We kind of bleed into each other's jobs, and we do what we're asked.
I could use some video editing over here. You need a third job? I'm over here cutting up this nonsense myself.
I'm out.
When did Gem Era begin? Is it recent? Because I'm new on the scene.
So I think we started just the idea and prepping from just tinkering and trying things out middle of last year, but we officially launched in January of this year, so January 2025.
Amazing. Now, I've seen some pretty epic pieces, but I just put out a video literally like an hour ago called Art Beat, by the way. It's amazing. I'm kidding. I have no idea. But because I do my own editing, I'm sure it's trash. But in there, I talk about the best 5 pieces of the week and then a sleeper piece. Now, newsflash, you're about to watch it soon. I'm sure you all are going to sign off here and go directly over there and watch it. The sleeper piece this week was Empire Dreams. Here's the curveball. Everybody gets curveballs during the interview. That piece, in my opinion, was absurdly amazing. Now, Katie, did you draw that magnificent piece of art?
That one was not me. That was one of our other amazing artists.
That's epic. Okay, and I need to know, because I talk about it in the episode, I thought it was a sleeper piece. It got like 150 likes, which is a ton. But nobody's talking about it, and I'm confused, Gem Era. I'm confused why I never heard of that piece until I looked it up myself. Do you still have some available? Because that thing's absurdly incredible.
We actually have so yeah, thank you for that. Hopefully after people watch the podcast, and we'll have more people talking about it.
They better. 2 people contacted me already, and they said, ask, because I told them I'm interviewing you this tonight. And they said, ask them if they're available and we'll buy them.
There's actually only one available. So yeah, we did a limited pre-claim, and I think most of them almost all of them got sold out shortly after we officially dropped it. There's actually only one left right now on the website.
See, now you're putting me in a tough spot. It's like, I could edit this out, but I won't. Who takes the last piece? Is it me who said I want it, or is it the viewers who also said they want it? One. Of all the numbers you could have said, that's the worst one. Sick piece, though. Sick piece. Where'd the concept come from?
I'll let Paul take that one.
So the concept came, we were looking for different ideas for this art piece. We grabbed a lot of inspiration from different classical art pieces. And one that instantly came to mind was the Napoleon piece, where he's up on the horse, got the sword up. We're like, man, it would go really good with this, Darth Vader.
That's what I would have thought, too.
That was it. And so we got our artists working on it, and the rest is history. I thought the same thing. I thought this is a sleeper piece. I thought this was going to be amazing.
Epic. But, yeah. It's epic. How many pieces do you release in a drop, generally speaking?
It varies. So I think the most limited we've done is 6 public, and the highest we've done to date is 16 public. And there's always going to be 4 studio pieces, but the one that we did with the 6 public, the first one, My Neighbor Snorlax, but we actually only had 1 studio piece for that. So it's
4 studio pieces, I assume, one person?
Yep, exactly.
Yes, sir.
What kind of variations do you give yourself? Is that public knowledge?
That's a very common question. And everyone thinks that it's oh, they're always going to get the gems. But if you actually look at our collections, that's very rarely the case, actually. So for a long time, one of my favorite vinyls was a champagne. So it looks like champagne bubbles. It's got a gold vinyl, gold finish to it. So that's not necessarily a gem, but yeah, all of us have different tastes, and they kind of shift over time. So it's been interesting.
So you have regular variations and then premium, some gem variations? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So
educate me, enlighten me on the variations.
So basically, the chase card of anything we do, so it's going to be a gem. It kind of ties into the name Gem Era. So at the moment, We've got several different gems: onyx, citrine, diamond, topaz, amethyst. So there's a few more that I'm probably leaving out somewhere. But yeah, that's there's only one in a drop, and usually that's a chase card. The rest of the vinyls are more just there's no rarity to them. It's just we pick different vinyls that work the best for that piece of art, and then we go ahead and we release it out. And then studio editions, to touch on that point, was it's just vinyls that we preferred on that piece, that we went out of our way to say, hey, I want it on this. And sometimes we throw those into the public and we just pick whatever's left. Yeah, it's a combination of
Let me
everything.
get this right. You have all these different gems, but there's only one gem per drop?
Yes.
One to the public.
One public, yeah.
One public.
One to the public.
Interesting. What was the gem variation on Empire Dreams? Do you remember?
Onyx.
Is that the one that's still available?
Okay. I don't know. I know.
I saw multiple heads go different directions right there. They're like, I don't know.
That is a great question, honestly.
I mean, as is
Man.
everything is completely randomized, so we don't even know who gets.
You don't know who gets it.
Nope. It's all and then they get shipped out.
Yeah, I mean, like when we first started, there's a funny story about that. We actually like truly were blind. Like, so we didn't even track, like, obviously we had the orders come in, and we would literally box everything up and then print the shipping labels. So we would just put them in the boxes, throw a label on it. So we didn't actually track who got what variant. And as time evolved and moved on, it logistically can cause issues, right? Like, let's say, for example, there's a person in Australia who bought a card, they never received it, right? And it's in that situation where you're in limited pop counts. You can't really reprint a piece, right? Especially if you don't know what piece went missing in the first place. So lately, we've been a little bit more disciplined on that, but for the most part, all of our variants are randomized. So the first thing we do in a drop is we'll just randomize a variant list. And then as orders come in, we'll pair that up. And now we're starting to track like who gets what variant, but it's actually pretty interesting because you'll always, I mean, I think everyone like always wants to get like a specific gem. Like for Kiss the Rings, it was Ruby, right? That was a really popular one that people gravitated towards. So it's kind of fun because everyone's like, oh, I really want that Ruby. Can I get that Ruby? And we honestly don't know until we run the randomizer and all the orders come in, who's going to get which variant. So it's always kind of like a horse race. Like we're all betting we all want certain people to get it, right? But at the same time, we can't keep everyone happy. So randomizing it is the easiest way to go.
Well, that begs the obvious question. Why don't you have more of the gems per drop?
It's because we want to protect the rarity of it. We want to give something to chase. We do more than one then at that point in our eyes, because we do things on a very limited basis. We want to make sure that there's one gem that someone gets, and when they open it, they're happy that they got it, and they don't go to Instagram and find out someone else got a gem as well. So there's only one gem to protect that rarity and to make it more desirable.
Interesting. Have you gotten feedback from the community? Do they agree? Is it more desirable to only have one or to have 4 of the 16?
That's a good question. I will add to what Paul said. There's actually been, I think, 2 drops to date. So our general philosophy is like on a normal drop, normal pop count, let's say 12 and less, there's always going to be 1 public gem. And then on the higher pop counts, we try to include 2 to kind of keep that odd and that distribution alive. So I think there's only been 2 drops. Paul, keep me honest here, but I think that was both Street Ballers, and then I think Street Ballers 1 and Kiss the Rings were the ones that we had 2 public gems. But all of our drops, we actually list every single variant on every drop. So you can actually go back and check on our website how many gems were in each drop. Yeah, but to answer your question, I think, we do, one thing we do really well is we do a really good job of test printing everything. Yeah, actually, we haven't seen that reaction, or at least maybe that reaction exists where people genuinely want the gems. Obviously, in our Discord, there's people that are always, chasing topaz and diamond and all the premium variants. But I think for the most part, people are pretty happy with the variants that we have because there's a lot of testing that goes into it. So there might be certain types of foils and vinyls that will look really good on Empire Dreams, but they don't look that great on like Walking Deadpool, for example. So we do a lot of R&D there. I mean, sometimes like Empire Dreams alone, I can personally attest that we printed probably over 50 test cards on at least 12 different variants just to try different masking techniques, different layering, and finally we landed on something that we liked. But yeah, I would say for the most part, there's certain collectors that exclusively want the gems, but then the others that are like, hey, I actually don't want the gem. I want the Tesseract or some other vinyl.
I want the gem. How about that? I don't care if whoever's saying they're passing on it, pass it my way. Back to Empire Dreams. I'm not going to dwell on the piece, but it then leads to the next question. I thought the piece was under the radar. Is Gem Era under the radar, in your opinion? Are you as an entity under the radar?
So I believe we are. We put a lot of process to make sure we procure really good vinyls, who print to the highest quality. We have very high standards. there's a lot of cards that don't make the cut. I mean, there's times where we'll have an art piece that we think is going to be amazing, and then we'll print it, and then we're like, no, that's not going to work. So we're very detail oriented, very mindful of what we put out, the quality that goes into each collector's hands. So I think we're very much under the radar because I think our printing game and our vinyls are on par with anyone in this game.
Why are you under the radar?
That's a great question.
I think it's just because we're so new. It's more of, we've only been at this for 8-9 months now, and what we've learned is, and we've looked at some of the other previous artists that have been in this game a long time. It took them about a year to really catch fire and start going. So we believe it's just a time thing. Getting more of our pieces into people's hands and taking it from there. It's not something that we're really sweating. We do believe we're under the radar, but time will tell, and consistency beats all. So
now, I've said this multiple times about the space, and no particular artist, just in general. Most artists aren't also great marketers. Rare combo skill. Now, you have a whole team. You've got accountants, which is next level. Accountants, and you've got artists, and you've got technologists, and you've got all sorts of things over there. Do you think Gem Era is doing well in marketing?
That's a tough question. I think there's always room for improvement, right? What's interesting about the custom card space is that your top marketing funnel is really just Instagram. You sometimes, with the bigger artists like Piggy Banks, you'll see them, expand to eBay, and there's certain auctioneers that will start promoting these pieces. But when you look at the card market as a whole, I mean, that's an iota, a small fraction of what the actual card market for TCG, like Wizards of the Coast, Magic, Pokemon, I mean, they're at a much bigger scale, right? So I think we're at a position now where we're doing, I think, fairly well in terms of marketing. There's obviously always headroom and room for improvement, things that we could work on, things we can expand to. But I think that's also part of it, right? Like Paul alluded to it, it takes time to build that reputation, right? And I've always said this, I think there's always going to be hype with anything that's involving collectibles, right? Whether it's Funko Pops or, comic covers, whatever it might be, cards, custom art cards. I think consistency will be everything in the long term. And the four of us, we're not treating this as like a short term, let's see how fast we can ramp up in a year. If anything, we want a more slow, calculated trajectory, right? Because we're in this for the long term. We want to actually expand beyond just custom card art, wall pieces, and a bunch of other product lines, even clothing collaboration. So there really is like a greater picture to this. So right now we're just staying humble and trying to advance as much as we can the time that we have.
That's fair. But right back to the hard, straight fastball questions. Why didn't I know about Empire Dreams? Somebody tell me, how did I miss it? How did everybody miss it? Why is this possibly in my sleeper pick? Because I said, I'm going to spoil it for you a bit. I said on the episode, I think this has the potential to be piece of the week, piece of the month, piece of the quarter. Like you name some time interval, that piece is profoundly epic. And I also talk in the episode about how I think some themes are overplayed. Right? Like how many Jordan shoes have I seen? How many Mr. Monopolies have I seen? And I'm not saying that artists don't put their own touch on it, because they do. And even though I'm not a Mr. Monopoly guy, I just saw Collector Creative pop one, and it was a sweet looking Mr. Monopoly piece, right? So I'm not knocking it. Loot Box just dropped a banger of a Nike Air Force One piece. Great. Love it, love it, love it. But when you throw in a new concept and execute it like Empire Dreams, I have recency bias here, right? I know you guys have other great pieces. I'm talking about Empire Dreams because it just popped. But when I see something like that conceptually I haven't seen before, obviously it's going to hit me different, and it did. Why? Do you still have a piece? You're not going to have a piece available by the end of this call. Why do you still have a piece available?
No, that's a good question. We need to ask Instagram, Kurt. Maybe you can.
I'm gonna ask. I'm telling you, I'm gonna flood the market with this question. What already is? It's on the street currently with the question. I'd be curious how many people hit you up about Empire Dreams, because, like I said, I've already had 2, and that video is not 30 minutes old. Time will tell. But tell us about. You talked a lot about your finishes, your designs, right? You're over there printing till your fingers bleed, apparently, to try to get the right variations. What is your process? Why do you think that you can hold it against anyone?
It's a good question. So, I think we all agree it starts with the art, right? You could have everything perfect, the packaging, the execution, the print quality, masking, everything's perfect. But if the art doesn't resonate with the collector, if it's not something relatable, or if it doesn't strike that emotional chord, the chances of your drop doing well aren't aren't too high, right? And I'll let Katie jump in on the art aspect of it. Always starts with the art, and then it transitions to the other phases. But
yeah, I mean, I'd say a lot of it is just starting as collectors, making something that we would want in our own personal collection. So is this something that I would personally want to see every single day? And then, if not, then what can I do to make it something that I would want to see, so that way other collectors might see the same when they look at that same art piece.
So what's your concept phase like? Do you all sit around a virtual round table and say, hey, instead of Napoleon, put Vader on there? Like, what's the concept phase look like across your team?
That's very much it, right? Sometimes we'll talk until we're blue in the face, man. We have probably hundreds of ideas that we talk about. We actually track everything. We have our own private server, so we'll look at, here are the ideas that we want to flesh out. Here's some ideas that we don't think are fully there yet. And a lot of it just involves us talking and explaining, why we think a certain piece might be something that would resonate with the collector. One of the founding principles of everything that we do is we aren't ever going to put out something that we're not happy with. So all of us are collectors at heart. We're trying to do this for the collector market, right? No piece will ever leave our studio that we're not absolutely happy to have in our own personal collections. So that typically is like the basis, right, of conceptually trying to refine the ideas that we have in the pipeline. And then from there, it's truly what you said. It's us sitting around just talking through ideas, ideating over what we think might be a good twist on something that exists. Paul alluded to some of the fine art pieces. There's a lot of fine art pieces that we have in the pipeline that we've thought about, and we've talked about different, spins on it. How do we add which artist might do the best take given this idea, what crossovers we want to do. So there's no
set process. It's kind of like just letting, when creativity strikes. I mean, there have been nights where I thought an art piece was done and I get hit with another idea. I mean, Jay's seeing me in the corner at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm just tapping away at the iPad, just creating 3 new backgrounds for a drop. And, I thought it was done 2 weeks ago. Or, I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, I grab that sketchbook. I'm like, I need to get all these ideas out of my head before I can go back to sleep. So, I mean, there's no set process. I mean, creativity just happens.
It's interesting. My wife wakes up in the middle of the night. She's like, Kurt, go check on the kids. Not as creative, I suppose. But Katie, what's your background in art? When Gem Era started, you're just like, I'll be your drawer.
Well, I mean, I've been doing art pretty much my whole life, starting with just pencil sketches on paper throughout elementary school. My parents supporting my artistic creativity and vision and getting me into painting. And then slowly I just, picked up Procreate, starting digital drawing on my iPad. And Jay's seen my art and we have paintings around our house. He's just been like, how about you be the artist? How about we dive into this? Let's just jump in and start a company. We already like collecting, and Paul was right there collecting alongside us. And things just lined up perfectly. And I don't know.
I like how he uses we. We like collecting. You clearly said at the beginning of the interview, you don't. Like, we like collecting. You want to do this?
I mean, I've always encouraged her because,
well played, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some strategy in it, right? But also, she just has a great passion for art. So, we have a couple pieces around the house that she's actually painted, and people come over and been like, "Where'd you buy this?" Right? It'll be like, some of the decorative art you see, and she'll explain to them, like, "I actually drew this," right? So I noticed that talent early on, and then I also noticed that we're all very creative people, despite us working, in maybe non-creative fields. I can't speak for Katie; she works in a very creative field, but I started to kind of put the pieces together, and I realized we all have a passion, we all have great ideas. Katie's an amazing artist, and we have a couple other artists that we work with that are also super talented. So it really just became, how do we execute, right? What's the next step? And it just that evolved into the journey that we're on now.
That's awesome. Paul, don't get creative over there. Creative finance is always a dangerous thing, right?
Listen, my creativity is in the vinyls and the videos. That's all I need.
Your day job won't appreciate it. So what's your op tempo? How many pieces do you drop in a week or month? Did you have a schedule, or is it just when the mood strikes you?
We're dropping about once a week, kind of just when we get a bunch of ideas and want to ramp up. We'll try to drop a little bit more frequently, maybe twice a week. But being that this isn't our full-time job, we can't drop daily, although one day that's the goal.
Drop daily? That's the goal?
One each day. I mean, I'd love to, quit the day job and do art full time.
I'll need to pick up extra day jobs. I can only afford so many pieces, Katie. A drop a day. Getting crazy over there. when we talk pieces, and like you said, you're kind of surprised if maybe some go under the radar. We've acknowledged maybe the entire studio's under the radar, and I agree with it. I think you guys and gals are violently under the radar. What's a piece in recent memory? I've spoken about Empire Dreams. Is there another piece that stands out to you that you thought when you created it, you're like, this is a masterpiece, and it just didn't get over the radar?
That's you.
There's a few, but I think that's good. I mean, Paul, I'll let you start, and then I'll go next.
So we're talking about a piece that went under the
you
radar.
expected a more violent, positive reaction to than it maybe got.
That's a good question. Hold on.
I only ask good questions, Paul. Come on, man.
I know what Paul's going to say.
I got one. So,
that's a public speaker move, man. I know that move. That's a good question. Buy yourself some time. That's a good question.
So there was one that we expected to do a lot better. Me, Jay, Katie, we all play video games as well. There is this one game that we play. It's called Marvel Rivals. I forgot what the piece is named. I'll have to go back and look at Jay. Do you remember the name of the piece?
The
name of was it just called Rivals?
I believe so. Oh, okay. Sorry, Clash of Rivals.
Clash of Rivals.
Clash of Rivals. So that was one that I thought was going to do much better than what it did. I thought that was a great piece. Really liked it. We thought more Marvel fans would have come out and got that piece, but it was definitely one of those pieces that I truly love. I truly love that piece. I have it displayed in my cabinet, but unfortunately, it just didn't resonate the way we thought it would resonate.
Fair, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I think Clash of Rivals is a good one. I will say this: the one that early on when we started that I think was criminally underrated, operative term being criminal, is Criminal Record, right? So that was a piece that me and Paul, we were, maybe it was just really late at night. We were just too hyped up on it, right? But it's obviously a Mario piece, and you got Luigi in the background, and Mario's getting busted for shrooms, and you have a cop. And if you look at the details on that piece, the cop actually is badged Intellectual Property Police. So we thought it was a clever play, and there's a lot of like little Easter eggs in that piece. And for whatever reason, it still did. Over time, we started selling a lot more pieces, especially at the West Coast Card Show. I think the crowning achievement, though, for that piece was when we were at West Coast Card Show. We actually had two police officers from Anaheim show up, and they actually took a picture holding that card. They got a huge laugh out of it, but that would be my vote on that.
I mean, who wants to see Mario handcuffed? Let's be real, Jay.
It was a funny conversation.
It was a good idea at the time.
Katie, what's your piece? What's your piece that should have gotten more love?
Deadpool. It was like The Walking Dead, but it was like all the different Deadpool characters. So
that's fairly recent, isn't it? It's like 2 weeks ago.
So I thought it was a great idea, and I got super excited when I told the guys about it. And then it just, not sure if it was, a football game going on that night or what. But yeah, that one didn't quite go as good as we thought it would.
Now, I don't know where you stand on what's sold out or not, but I'm going to pick a piece, and I want you to tell me if it's sold out. Because I'm going to guess I'm going to play my own game. I'm going to make a game up on the spot, and I'm going to play my own game. Isn't that fun? Here it is. Gotham Knights. You remember that piece?
Yeah, we still got a few of those.
Oh! This piece should be sold out.
Absolutely, it should be.
This piece should be sold out. I'm just looking through your portfolio now, and I'm like, what pieces just instantly should have flown off the shelf? What's happening? This is what I mean, Gem Era. It's violently under the radar. And I agree with you, Walking Deadpool. I'm not a Walking Dead guy. Zombies aren't my thing. I think they're disgusting. But if I was, I love that piece. I'm also not a Deadpool guy. But the piece is sick. That should have sold out. I'm with Katie on that one.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely under the radar, and I'd like to think like a year from now, 2 years from now, when we're looking back on this, I think a lot of these pieces will get swooped up eventually, right? I think it's a part of paying your dues and just building your reputation. And also, Kurt, I'd like to nominate you to reach out to Instagram to ask them why we're
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be violent on there. What about Sparta? This is Sparta. That sold out, didn't it?
No, that one did not sell out, which is crazy because Halo's coming back to now they're redoing Halo 1 for PS5. So maybe we'll see an uptick in sales. I'm not sure, but I mean,
I'm about to get a job at Gem Era being your marketer. This is insanity. This is insanity. I work free of commission, by the way. Someone on the channel the other day, they're like, Kurt, you should get commissions. Like, just here, spread love and awareness. And this, like you said, Jay, this is criminal. This is criminal. And you're at what? Is it 200 a drop?
Yes, that's correct.
Come on, man. I'm not happy about this. Now I'm cranky. Okay. And now I wonder, I'm going to brainstorm with you aloud. Is one chase too few? I'm an odds guy. Let me talk to the accountant. Paul, the math guy. If someone tells me I've got 5% odds, I'm mildly interested, right? If I'm the winner of it, then I'm like, guess what? We only won a 16th. But if I want a chance of getting a piece, 5% doesn't sound super appealing.
Unfortunately, that's part of the game. I mean, that's when you talk about Pokemon, you talk about Magic, you talk about all these other trading cards. It's very hard to get some of those pieces.
It is hard.
And
It's hard.
so, yeah, it might be something we go back and we revisit, but as of now, it's just we like the exclusivity of a gem. We don't want too many people to have the gem.
Dial me in on the next team brainstorm session, next roundtable. I want to be a part of it. I have ideas. I'm just kidding. My ideas are terrible. All of them. Don't ever listen to me. You guys do any commission work?
No.
Okay, so as of right now, we don't close the door on anything. If we have a one-off where it just makes sense, it's something we might do, but it's not something we go out of our way to actively pursue. We want to focus on things that we want to build, like the artwork that we want to make, the artwork that we want to put out to people. And if we take on too many commissions, especially because this is not our day job, we kind of muddy the water at that point. And so it's more case by case. It's not something we'll say no to immediately, but for the most part, we're not currently taking commissions.
Fair. And what I heard, wall pieces, right? You already have some Katie special wall pieces, Jay. But when we talk about gem era, you say wall pieces are in the future. Talk to me about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, custom card art is something we'll always do, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. So we've got some really exciting developments coming up in the future. Even before we get to wall pieces, we're looking at XL prints or comic size slabs. We're actually wrapping up getting our final designs in. So as soon as we have our packaging, we're going to start opening up that door. Had a lot of people ask about getting comic size prints, and yeah, in the future, it's not just, we don't want to confine ourselves to just collectible cards, right? We want to do something beyond that. We want to do art pieces, wall pieces, eventually move on to actual figures. That's something that the team has been really excited about. We talk about that all the time, bringing that limited rarity, similar to what you see in the Funko market. But I think the Funko market is obviously vastly overdeveloped, way more developed than what we're looking at, right? Bringing that exclusivity to collectible figures as well, something that's a little bit more relatable for younger adults even. So it's a lot of cool things that we want to do. But on the near term horizon, we're looking at comic slabs, and then eventually we're going to move into wall pieces and slowly graduate to different product offerings.
But one thing that we are tinkering with right now is we like to get back to our collectors, and we sometimes do like a little Easter egg. So in our COAs, they are NFC chipped. So that way, if you do scan it, sometimes it'll bring you to our website just for that level of authenticity. Sometimes it'll bring you to a secret page on the site where you can reach out to one of us and get a free gift from the studio. Sometimes that's like a canvas print of that art piece. So we're starting to tinker around with getting into wall size art, and that's just one thing that we're doing right now.
Katie, you read my mind right here. One, I was about to ask about value proposition. How do you differentiate yourself in a saturated, because now this space is getting pretty saturated, right? So I'm with you. But I heard somebody say the other day, I interviewed someone, and I haven't published it yet, that said something about this QR code or whatever that takes you for this free giveaway. I'm again going to repeat myself. I'm going to drop my pen in anger, right? I'm going to violently throw it. Why don't I know about this? I cover Gem Era on my channel, and I don't know about this giveaway. Katie, why don't I know?
I mean, that's something we're trying to figure out without saying it outright, that it's NFC chip, that yes, there's a giveaway. I mean, we want people to do a lot more with that and expand through that NFC chip scanning. Right now, that's just one thing that we're playing around with.
All right. So I've gone on the record, right? One of my episodes was called "This Art's So Good It's Making Me Mad." I don't remember what the episode was about, but I was cranky that day. But similarly, I definitely put out other episodes where these artists have these secret tunnels, right? They have these secret discords and exclusive Discord drops and these exclusive and this chat where you can only get this piece. I'm confused by it, all right? I've taken business classes. I consider myself fairly educated, and I'm confused. On the bright side is everyone feels like they've got this exclusive drop. They found this Easter egg, like Katie said. Awesome, I have this great feeling. The other 99% of the world doesn't know it exists. What are your thoughts on the balance between exclusivity and growth?
I mean, right now, this Easter egg, it's not really an exclusive, like only one person can have it. It's more of a way that we can show that appreciation for our collectors. I mean, they're the ones that are supporting us to continue pursuing this every single drop, continue to put, anything we make goes back into the studio to continue expanding and finding better and better products. So that's just one way that we can give back to our community. If I could, I'd reach out and hug all of our collectors. Unfortunately, everybody's across the country, and I'm one person here in Texas right now. But yeah, that's just one way we can show that gratitude for everybody that comes out and supports us.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we've actually talked about this probably ad nauseum a long time, right? So we talk about we're in the business of limited rarity, right? Obviously, we want these art pieces to get as much attention as possible, but we also don't want to take away the values from our, the value of these pieces from our early collectors. So we try to, during this honeymoon phase where we're just in our first year, we're trying to keep our pop counts low, because there inevitably will come a time where demand goes up and then the pop counts have to go up, right? And these will become the quote unquote grails, and that's at least the vision that we have in the future. But no, you're absolutely right. Those two things can't often be optimized at the same time, right? How do you keep something super exclusive, but also grow the brand, grow the reputation, and get more people involved? Sounds like you hit the nail right on the head. So if you have any ideas, we're open.
I told you I've invited myself to the roundtable. Paul, question, Paul.
Yes, sir.
I have so many thoughts here. And do you know why I'm here? Do you know why this channel was created?
We put spotlights on all of us, make us all look good, man.
I'm just here to spread love and awareness. You know how much money I make off of this?
I would assume nothing right now.
Absolutely nothing. With zero intent of getting anything. Okay, I'm not here for this. I have a day job just like the three of you. I have a wife, two beautiful girls. That's it. I'm just here to spread love and awareness. That's my mission statement. All I do is lose money because I like all the art and I buy it. It's stupid. It's the dumbest business model you could ever find. But in order for me to spread love and awareness, in order for me to accomplish my mission, what I need is information. It makes my job easier. I should say that.
Absolutely.
So when people have all these Easter eggs, it infuriates me because I can't do anything about it. Right? Let me take ArtMX, for example. ArtMX is a cool studio. I don't know if you know about them. They're a cool studio, and they've got some great artists signed up. They are now doing a gold border 100 card. And if you get the gold border, they give you the comic size gold border version of it with it. Okay. They're like, hey, if you get the gold border card, which is like their gem in your world, right? The best, that's not good enough. Oh, the rich get richer. Oh, it's not good enough. Here's a free comic size to go with it. So they've got 10 pieces on this particular drop. You got a 10% chance of hitting gold, which means you have a 10% chance of getting a free comic size. That value proposition sounds pretty sweet.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Now, I only highlight that because they're openly marketing them. Now, other people may have better value propositions. I have no idea, right? But I hear it and I'm like, that's cool. And I'm gonna push it. So anytime I can, I push it because I'm just here to spread love and awareness. Anytime anyone does cool stuff, I'm gonna regurgitate everything the three of you had said for the next 3 weeks, right? I'm just gonna be a parrot. But how do we solve that? Because there's 1,000 artists. How do we again balance Easter eggs and exclusivity with, is it better to just know? Is it better for the world to just know, hey, you can get supreme value when you look at Empire Dreams? Not only is it conceptually epic, not only have we tested 5,000 different variations and we threw out 86 that we didn't think passed the test, and you're only getting the premiere of the premiere, and then you have a chance of getting one of the gems. And then in addition to that, you've got this code on the back that's going to take you to some secret additional grail hunt. There are levels, and I didn't know any of it before I talked to you. I'm going to keep asking the same question different ways. Jay, how do we solve this, man?
It's funny. You're bringing a whole new perspective because I feel like we did, kind of solve that by being super transparent in our website, right? Listing all the variants so you can see which gem you're getting even before you purchase. But I will say on the Easter egg thing, that's something we wanted to be kind of fun, right? With our Discord and kind of have it's not really much of a secret now, but we always tend to remind folks on our Discord, hey, don't forget to scan your COA, you never know. And it's not every drop, right? It could be 3 drops in a row and then 2 drops don't have that. And they just lead you directly to the website. But no, I think you're onto something there. Typically, even when you look at our more limited drops, we on average, have better than 10% odds of hitting a gem. So if you think about, let's say my neighbor Snorlax, 6 public variants, one of them was a gem. So you had a 1 in 6 chance of actually hitting a gem. And then with that, regardless of whether you hit the gem or not, you may have gotten like Tesseract or Tinsel or some, just a hollow variant, right? You still have the chance of potentially hitting that Easter egg. So I think it's something that maybe the studio takes back as good feedback, and we start looking into how we can market that a little bit more. But we're grateful to have people like you who are actually like putting, a spotlight into the space, right? Because without that, I think that the community isn't going to grow as quickly. So
Well,
It's all love from me all the time. I just like to banter about random things.
So just to show you, this is one of our COAs, all right? How you do it, since we got you on the video, is how we can market it right here.
There we go. Let's do it.
So what we want to do, if you take the COA, if you have an iPhone, you can touch it to the top, and what we'll do is it'll bring up, if I can get it up there, you'll see a little link right here that you can press. And so that will either take you to our website or it will take you to the Easter egg page. And so if you're ever looking for an Easter egg, that's how you do it. There's an NFC chip inside that wooden COA that you can tap either on the back of your phone, whether you have an Android or if you have an iPhone, usually it's at the top. Just scan it, and then it'll bring up a link, and then it will take you where you're either to the Easter egg site or it goes straight to our website. It takes you to the website, you didn't get it.
Are there instructions in the box that tell you to do that?
No, there's not. Word of mouth, baby. Word of mouth.
This is wild. This is the wildest thing I've ever heard. This is the wildest thing I've ever heard.
What's even more wild
Who would ever think to put the COA on top of their phone? This is blowing my mind right now.
What's even more wild is there's a Easter egg that still has not been claimed to this day. It's been months.
I'm shocked there's only one. It's like that Easter egg that you forgot when you hid it around the yard, at least for my 10, 6-year-old. I was like, I don't know, it's out there somewhere.
You're going to find it.
This is fascinating. So there's a business theory I want to talk about with you three because I like you three. I'm going to be honest. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Gem Era, even before I got on the phone, but now I'm more of a fan. There's a theory that says one can be patient for growth or patient for profits. Okay? Very famous business theory. And it talks about, right, it's like the Amazon idea. Remember the first few years of Amazon, they were losing their face revenue style. Let me talk to the accountant. They were losing their face. And Jeff Bezos is telling shareholders, I just flick a switch one day and make all the money I want. But I'm going to be impatient for growth and patient for profits, right? That was his model. And shareholders sure, I'll buy into it, right? Now Amazon's only worth $800 billion. For Gem Era and all these artists, when I look at the artist scene, I'm confused, man, because I try to apply this business theory to artists. And artists, right? Starving artists isn't just a make-believe phrase that came from somewhere. So I understand the need to be impatient for profits. But in this world, how do you balance that? Is this a conversation at the round table? Because when you see your competitors put out things like, I'm going to give away free comic size, that comes with a cost. But they are telling me they're impatient for growth. There's other studios that are raising prices, not raising value proposition. And that means they're impatient for profits. Now, there's a time for both, right? As you go through your business life cycle, you want to swing between the two. Where is Gem Era on that life cycle right now? Are we patient for profits or are we patient for growth?
Definitely growth.
Absolutely.
Impatient for growth? You're pursuing growth? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. So to touch back on this, it's we all have day jobs, right? We can supply, we can do what we need to do to take care of our households. This is more of a hobby thing. We want to make sure we put out and get the best possible thing to everyone. We want growth. We want more collectors. We want more collectors to hold our art in their hands. Profits comes after that. We don't need to raise our prices. We don't need to increase pop count. We don't need to do things because it goes against what we came to do. At the end of the day, I think we're very much impatient for growth as opposed to profit.
Now, this video is probably going to come out after this next piece drops, but talk to me a little bit about Jack of all tricks. I'm looking at this piece. Now, again, I don't know if you watched the episode. I'm not a Halloween guy. It freaks me out. I like my girls dressing up as K-pop demon hunters or some Disney princess. This piece, I don't like it, but I love it. That's what my 10-year-old always says. I don't like it, I love it. I hate that phrase. But in this case, it applies. I don't like the subject, but the piece is beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, I would buy that piece. And I can't tell. Did you print on the case, or is that my mind playing tricks on me?
So that one, we didn't print on the case. It's funny you say that. We have done that in the past, and kind of foreshadowing. We have some cool pieces coming up in the future where we might employ that technique. This one was actually printed directly on the card.
Why does that look so good? Why does it look so good, Jay? How does it look so good?
No, it's lots of layering. It, like I said, I really devote. We have a lot of high standards for printing, so I devote a lot of time and energy into making sure that whatever art we get, we can do it justice. And sometimes that involves a lot of different tricks to try and get it to pop.
Look at this thing. There's a red one coming up. Not that I'm partial to any variation, but I always am, of course. That one's gross. I think there was even another one. Like, that's sick. Katie, did you do this?
That one was not me.
This is not you. This is sick. Why?
Yes. Let's see at the
There's
end.
not enough comments on this right now. I'm getting angry here. Look at this piece.
We said the same thing.
Gorgeous.
We're surprised. We thought this one was really well done. I thought it was great with the layering techniques and the masking, the different foils that we chose. I mean, the one that's just coming up. I mean, there's our gem. That's the tree. That's the orange one we have.
Bang!
I thought, man, I looked at that and I was like, man, that is flawless.
I want that. I want more gems. That's gonna be my request. Leaving here, I want more gems from Gem Era. That's my request. Just disregard it. Like I said, I don't have any good ideas. What's next for the studio? What's coming up? Any major projects underway? New pieces you want to highlight? What's upcoming?
I'll let you take that, Jay.
Yeah, I don't know how much we want to. I'll just say this: we have a few sport pieces that are topical and relevant. I'll let you guys decide, or I can take guesses on that. And we're really excited for the oversized comic prints. You know, the quality you see in our cards, we take that seriously and we translate that to comics. So everything that we put out in terms of the oversized prints, they're gonna have that same layering technique. It's gonna jump out at you, have that same finish and level of quality. And yeah, we have a few drops lined up throughout the end of the year, and our goal is just consistency, right? We try not to take too much time off, and we try to put out the same high quality and same high standards that we can. And we've got pieces stacked through to the beginning of next year. It's just a matter of execution.
You have a roadmap all the way through the end of the calendar year? Is that what I just heard?
So we're flexible in a roadmap, but we have at any given moment anywhere from, I don't know, I'd say like 6 to 10 pieces. We try to stay ahead of it and try to stay well managed. We also we do a lot of testing and printing, right? So just because we have an art piece that's ready, if it hasn't been tested, if it hasn't been printed, we're not going to put it out. So that's one thing that we try to do is like, we really want to make sure our collectors get pieces as soon as possible, right? So everything we ship out from the studio, with the exception of international orders, is 2-day shipping. So if it takes longer than 2 days, then blame FedEx, because we pay the premium to make sure that our collectors get it as soon as possible.
I like that. I do like that about you guys. I love not waiting for a piece. You guys are very prompt with it. And when you say sports, you said guess. I assume that was rhetorical, but I'm going to guess anyway. I like guessing on rhetorical questions. Is it an Otani piece?
Ooh, I can neither confirm or deny that, but I'll say
you know what? I mean, the three of you play poker because you're all terrible. All three of you are individually terrible at these types of things. Next, when you invite me to the round table, let's also play a game of poker, please.
I'm down. I'm always down.
Don't invite your wife, okay? Because she's got the worst poker face of the three of you.
I was going to ask who. I don't know who you've been talking to, Kurt, but that was a solid guess.
It's just a guess, but like I said, it's all, you got to read the eyes. Katie's eyes, I could just see it. Like, she's got Otani on the mind. What do you want to see in this space from artists and collectors? So I know you do some collabs, right? I think didn't you just pop out a collab with, did I make it up, with Sharkbait?
Yes, we did.
On the Jordan piece, right?
Yep.
How'd that go? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, obviously Ray, he's an awesome guy. We met him at West Coast Card Show. Does a lot of amazing work. We had the pleasure of connecting there, and then we started talking, and it just kind of formed together organically. And it was we strongly believe that like a rising tide lifts all boats, right? I really want to see this community grow. I think one way to do that is through collaborations. I think another way to do that is just cross promoting, right? Seeing a lot of these cool artists do their thing. I think that there's room for this whole industry to grow. And you made a comment about it being saturated, and I think that is true, right? I think that's a natural ebb and flow of certain markets. And with that, there's going to be ups and downs. But I think over the long term, if you had to ask me, like, what do I want to see in this community? I just want to see custom card art become bigger and bigger. I want to see everyone kind of grow into their industries and their art and develop their own niche. I want to see, more tables at every show we go to, right? And not just West Coast Card Show, not just nationals. I want to see it at Collecticon and all of the local card shows, right? So that's kind of the long-term vision that I have in my head.
How was West Coast Card Show? I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to give you a second to think about it. I remember one time I went to a recruiting event. Now I'm in sort of the defense contractor space. And the company I worked for at the time was a very small company. And of course, in that space, you've got like a Lockheed Martin or Northrop Grumman, right? Some of the big boys. And so nobody was at our booth. And there was a line of like 50 people waiting for Northrop Grumman. So I took my list of open positions and I went in line of Northrop Grumman and I started interviewing and talking to their people that were there to see them. I'm like, wow, and I would just poach their people, right? That's when I talk marketing. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and wait at the booth. I'm going to go steal your people. I'm not actually that rude, but I did do it. The question for you is at West Coast Card Show, what do you see? Because you're setting up there with your pieces. And are people coming to you? Are you working the room? Like, how do these shows actually work?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of
a little bit of both, yeah. So we did a lot of walking around, me and Jay, during West Coast Card Show, talking to different artists. I mean, King Carl was one of the ones that we had to walk clear across the convention center to go find. But we'll talk to different artists, different people who are in the same space. But most of the time at these card shows, it's really just sitting back at your table and just waiting for people to come up to you. For the most part, yeah. Was it
a successful show for you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought about setting up at a local show just for awareness. Put big not for sale, right? Piggy bank style, not for resale, not for sale, and just showing and talking. I'm into it. Like I said, I'm here to spread love and awareness. Where are you going to be a year from now? So I'm intentionally just having fun on this conversation, asking some hard questions for my own amusement. But we've talked about growth. We've talked about value proposition. We've talked about how I think you as a studio are violently and unnecessarily and unrightfully so under the radar. It blows my mind. Empire Dreams. Where are we going to be in 1 year from now? What conversation will we be having if you had your way?
Hopefully we'd be talking about how over the radar we are.
Yes.
That would be my ideal scenario. I think that personally, selfishly, I want a couple acres of land and a beautiful, massive studio. I want to have artists from all different walks of life come and showcase their work. I want to be in a position where we can actually start going in art galleries. We're not just focusing on cards. We're doing wall pieces, custom pieces. And yeah, I really just want our brand and our visibility to grow. I think all of us are really, really humble. We're super appreciative of all the progress we made this year, and especially our collectors. Like some of our collectors are really diehard. Like we've seen a lot of people ask in search of some of the pieces that we've released, and nobody's wanting to sell them. Very few. And that's something that we are grateful for, right? Like I think that it means a lot to us when people buy our pieces and they keep them for their personal collections and they hold on to them. But we're also not in the business of policing what you do with what you buy, right? It's completely your property. So if you feel like you want to give it to someone or if you want to trade it for something else, like by all means, go for it. But I think a year from now, it would be amazing to see just, one, getting more visibility out there, and then obviously being able to transition into more of like a full-time role. I think that would be great.
3 of you are so flippin' likable. You guys get that a lot?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, you're flippin' likable. I'm just looking through your portfolio here, and it's great art, but I like supporting great people. And I was wowed when you guys first signed on. Like I said, I've heard 1,000 different reactions from people when we first join, and you kind of try to get a feel for someone. And then as we talk, we get a better feel. You 3 are really likable, and I really sincerely wish the 3 of you the best. And please know I'm here to help. If I can help in any way, spread awareness and love of what you're doing, I will do that. I'm watching right now. If you wonder why I'm looking over here, like that's rude. I'm staring at Jack of all tricks rotating. rotating on that little spin thing, and I'm staring at the orange gem, and it's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous piece, and it comes out on 30 October at 8 p.m. Central Time. Gross. Give me one piece. Well, I already guessed it. Otani. Give me another piece that's coming. Give something to tease the community.
Yeah, it's up to you. I'll let Katie jump in.
Now, I interviewed Wags earlier today. This is a double interview day. I interviewed Wags today, and in that interview, he wasn't going to tease anything. And by the end of the conversation, he teased three different things. He's like, I don't know if I should. And he just showed it. He's like, next time, I don't know if I should. Katie, given the peer pressure, Wags style.
Man, no, one that I'm super excited about is we have a Gwenum piece coming out. So taking a comic style art piece to the next level, making this Gwenum piece a little bit more multidimensional, really doing it justice. It was an idea that came from a collector of ours, and we're really excited to do this out.
It's really because it's sitting over there on the counter, and I don't want to grab it and show you. But I will say this, it's technically the printing in this is going to be very unique. I don't think you've seen it the way we're going to do it. I don't think it's been done before. So I'm really excited to release this. I mean, I think we all are. And I mean, the idea came from a collector in our community. So it just hits on so many levels.
What wins the day for your studio? Is it concepts? Is it the concepts or the drawing that wins the day?
I'd say both. I don't know if that's an answer, but there's a lot of concepts that when you actually go to draw the art, you're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. And vice versa. There might be concepts where you're not really enthused with in the beginning, and then you see how it comes out in art form, and you're like, wow, like this blew me away. There are plenty of pieces that we've talked about that we've released where I was like, I don't know, I think it'd be cool to have, but I don't see the direction for it. It releases, it sells out immediately. I'm like, okay, I understand now. So I think it's a clever balance of both.
Look at this piece, Jay.
Gotham Knights.
Look at this piece. I told you, comics isn't my thing, but, when I see a dark Batman like this one just looks menacing, I'm here for it. This piece is sick. It's badass. Look at that thing. What are you telling me? Under the radar, man. Under the radar. So gross. Your portfolio, I'm going to share the whole screen. Your portfolio is sick. It's sick pieces.
Oh, thank you, man.
I mean, I mentioned it. I don't think I've shown it yet. This is the dumbest thing I saw this week. This is dumb in such a good way. Look at this. Oh.
Yeah, that meteor is that's something else. I love that variant.
Oh,
There's Onyx.
so nasty. But you make a good point, Paul, because I got to tell you what, even the regular, I'll put it in single quotes, regular variations of that look amazing. I'm not even sure I prefer the gem on this one more than the other ones. I don't mean that rudely to disrespect the gem. I mean it as a comp. Look at that. I'm with you. Your testing is paying off because that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That comes down to the same preference we have with our studio editions. We'll look at gems and we're like, man, gem would be nice, but man, this variant looks fantastic on this piece. And we just got to have it. So, we put a lot of time into finding these variants that, not a lot of other people have. If you look around, there's probably maybe a handful of artists that have some of the same variants that we have.
Your layering, though, I mean, I saw it on all these recent drops. The layering is, I legitimately thought, look, doesn't that look like that's printed on the case? That thing pops out so much. And honestly, I don't always like things printed on the case. Sometimes I think it's a little, I don't want to say cheesy, right? But it detracts from it a little bit. I actually prefer that you said this isn't. Because the fact that it has that effect, that layered effect that I can see so vividly, just tells me how amazing your print quality is. Man, that's not even a question. I'm just saying things at this point. The interview's kind of ended. I'm just talking to myself. That's absurd.
It's funny you say that because, we also have another thing I didn't talk about earlier when you said what's exciting, what do we have coming up in our roadmap is we've always been fascinated with certain variants, right? And we're actually working on producing variants that are unique to us. Paul kind of alluded to this, but there's a handful of different creators that kind of use the same variants, and you'll see that trend. But we're actually working on a a kind of like a skunkworks project to actually draft our own variants, like variants that you cannot actually source from any supplier. So that's something that's really cool. Really excited to release that. That might show up in that aforementioned sports piece that you may or may not have guessed correctly. Just a thought, but
love it. Excited to see. Is this coming soon? I mean, it's got to be. The series is on.
We got a time limit here, so
we're minutes away.
Yeah.
Go Katie style and drop it every day. Drop every day. Final question. I'll get you on your way. What do you want for your collector base? We talked about your defense of exclusivity. I criticized it, just trying to mess with you and see your reaction, right? I always try to bait my guests for my own amusement. We talked about it a little bit. We talked about your release schedule. We talked about your price point. We talked about the chase. We talked about the egg hunt, all the things that you are doing for your collector base. But what are you ultimately trying to achieve? What's the end goal for Gemera and your?
I think at the end of the day, like the foundation of Gemera, we're friends that came together to make something cool and have fun that we would want to collect for ourselves. But where do we go from the future? Oh, Jay, I don't know.
I mean, our founding principles, we won't put out anything that we're not happy to collect ourselves. If you ask me what we want for our collectors, like my answer is I just want them to be happy, right? I want them to be able to look at a piece and them to have that association, right? That's something to relate to. When I think about a lot of the pieces that I collect in the custom card space and also just cards that I've collected over the years, there's something intangible about that feeling you get when you're holding that card, right? You know that it's just card stock. You know that it's just ink on card stock. There's nothing special, right? You're not holding anything inherently that has value. It's the value that you put on it, yourself. So really, it's just that same joy and passion, right? I think that if we can find a way to translate that to our customers, then we've already accomplished our goal, regardless of how popular we are, or how many sales we make. If there are people out there that are happy with the product we put out, and the art pieces that we personally would love to put out, I think we've accomplished our goal. And I'll let Paul jump in for his take on it.
Yeah, so my take is, what I want to see from our collectors, I want them to open a box and be really excited about a piece that brings either nostalgia or, just those feelings of maybe their favorite superhero, Batman, going, man, this is really sick. I really enjoy this piece, and the way that they printed this, the way they executed was flawless. And that's what I want to see. I want to see people happy with something that we created.
I'll tell you what, if Empire Dreams and Jack of all tricks doesn't sell out, I've failed the three of you. Okay, I failed you. I'm going on the record saying that. It is a disgrace if they don't sell out. That's my mission, is to get those, because those pieces are absurd. They're all absurd. Walking Deadpool should be sold out. Katie, they should all be gone. Is there any final thought you want to leave us with today?
Just appreciate the time. No,
Absolutely.
We're really grateful to our collectors and everyone that supported us on this journey. We do not take that for granted. It's something that we talk about every day, and we're just blessed to be here and blessed to be part of such an amazing community. Met a lot of cool people, people we call our friends now that we never thought we'd be in this position, right? So truly grateful.
It's humbling and rewarding. Yeah, just a big thank you to everyone that's supporting us and those that will support us in the future.
Unbelievable. All love to the three of you. Appreciate your time as well. And don't be strangers. Let's stay in touch. Sneak me some information so we can stay above the radar.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kurt.
I'd say,
Kurt, you have a wonderful night, man. It was great. I really appreciate the time.
Of course, absolutely. Out on this end. Until next time, stay sharp, chase smart.